Hi everybody, this is Ponyboy, the host of Ponyboy Plays. And you know this channel, what I talk about, for those who are subscribers. I play video games, and I posted a older video a while ago, and it was talking about Final Fantasy VII. And I fucking adore Final Fantasy VII. It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but I love Final Fantasy VII. I don't think I need to go on a huge tangent about how much I love it when I talked about it in the previous video. I'll put a link down below this video so that you can kind of see on standard definition camera what I feel about it and the remake. And I've had plenty of time to let that news sink in, let the news kind of coagulate in my brain so that I can try to figure out exactly what I feel about it. And I'm nervous. Quite nervous. Is it going to be beautiful? You know, it's a Square Enix game. They know how to make a pretty game. As much as I personally hated the 13 trilogy, at least it looked okay. Right? In the music, they can't fuck up on the music. All they have to do is take the original music, remaster it, so it's not like MIDI files, just like make it a live orchestra. They already do this for other games, and they already play Final Fantasy music with orchestras anyway, so it's not going to be that hard to transfer it over. Okay? At least I don't see it being that difficult. It's going to be voice acted. Most AAA games now have voice acting. It's the sign of the times. I could live with text, but I'm an old school gamer, so I understand why it would be voice acted. But what concerns me about Final Fantasy VII is two things. Let's just going to get number one out of my head here first. What concerns me is having this game being broken up into different games. I'll post the link, but according to an article written on GameStop.com posted of August 6th, 2016, so not too long ago, the quote was, "Whereas with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, we already have a pre-existing story, so it really wouldn't make sense if that isn't encompassed in a multi-part series. So we're just looking at... oh my god, I can't read. So if we're just looking at each of these parts, one part should be on par with the scale of one Final Fantasy XIII game." Okay. XIII, at best, was meh. Just meh. The problem with 13 was that nobody wanted the fucking sequels. So nobody wants... and try to collect my thoughts here. When I bought Final Fantasy 13, they got $80 out of me. Like an idiot when I bought 13-2, they got another $80 out of me. And like a fucking moron, giving the series one final shot, like an abusive relationship, they got another $80 out of me. And each sequel was shittier. I love Final Fantasy VII. I have the original PS1 copy. I have a copy of it on my Vita. I have a copy of it on my the PlayStation Network. PS1, Vita. And I've been fantasizing about a remake for years. But if Square Enix expects me to give them $80 3 times, that's $160 fucking dollars for 3 games encompassing one story. Square Enix, you are not fucking Telltale. That's not an insult. That's not trying to push one up over the other. But why? Why would anybody give Square Enix that much money? Do they want me to give them all the money up front? Do I have to buy a season pass? For a story that is not going to be the same as I remember. This is not a Final Fantasy game that's HD graphics, polished up, with like a remastered soundtrack. This game was built from the ground up. But the overall price, what they're asking for, if they're going to charge $80 per game, which I think they will, $80 for part 1. Now, I believe what the idea is that part 1 is going to be based on everything that's on disc 1, part 2, disc 2, and you guessed it, part 3, the finale, based on disc 3. Now, I don't know what they're going to call it, like Final Fantasy VII part 1, Final Fantasy VII part... I don't know. But I'm not doing it, Square. I don't know why you had to remake it right from the bottom up. Those are cats rustling in the background. Why do you... People will! Oh yeah, people will, I know this. But why? For a game that we don't know is going to be good or not. We don't know. The game might have a lovely coat of paint, but it might run like fucking garbage. I mean, as of today, Final Fantasy 15 has already been pushed back in an additional 2 months because it's having difficulty running at 30 frames. Or, pardon me, I believe it's having difficulty running at 60 frames. So what they're delaying it on a game that's already been delayed for several years. And Final Fantasy VII, I believe, is based on the same engine as Final Fantasy 15. So, expect Final Fantasy VII to be pushed back, ladies and gentlemen. And the more I think about it, the more I'm worried about microtransactions. What concerns me is they're going to do a shit ton of DLC, like upgrade your materia faster for $20. Get exclusive weapons that you can't get in game. get new summons. I will not put it past Square Enix on doing this. I won't. Because they did it for Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns. Fucking train wreck of a title that game is. And I swear to Christ, Square Enix, if you're watching this, if some intern who has a coffee break is fucking flipping through his iPhone and is watching YouTube and he comes across an annoying white guy talking about Final Fantasy bullshit and he clicks on my stupid fucking face, I swear to fucking Christ, if there's microtransactions or optional DLC that Aeris is rescued, I will fucking lose it. I will fucking lose it. Because whenever this game comes out and I'm streaming it, you can go back to this video, see the sincerity in my fucking face, in my eyes, and I will fucking lose it when I'm streaming. But you fanboys that might be watching this, you might say, but Matthew, you get to save her and you fight Sephiroth. She was a good character. Yes, she was a great character. And I will admit that when I was 12 years old, playing this game, and I seen her die in the video game, I got so emotionally attached and invested in this character, like somebody reading a book or somebody watching a movie. I wept because a hero died. And my crew was powerless to stop it. We felt, or the player felt powerless and angry and hurt. And within the story, it provided such initiative and inspiration for the characters to be like, oh, Sephiroth, you done fucked up now. You know, you're screwing over the planet, but now you made it personal, homie. We're out to get ya. Like, it helped move the story along. And it helped... I don't want to give away everything about the game for those who didn't play it. I mean, by now you know Aeris died. Everybody knows that. But her death was so important to the overall story that to simply add a DLC or a microtransaction where Aeris lives destroys the story. If Aerith didn't die, it's, oh, whew, he almost killed us. He almost kills us a lot in the game. So, as much as my inner 12-year-old boy would love to have rescued Aerith, as a 30-year-old, I now appreciate the story. I appreciate what the purpose of her death was. So Square, don't take the easy way out. Don't take the cheap way out. Don't cater to the lowest common denominator. Realize that her death in the game served a purpose. Her death wasn't a throwaway. It meant something. And if you want to keep the fans that adore this game and cherish it, don't rewrite the script to appease the younger folks. Because I guarantee you, they're not going to appreciate Final Fantasy VII the way that us old PS1 gamers did when there was such a thing as offline gaming. Back before Twitch, back before YouTube, when it was just us, the PlayStation, and playing that part of the game where we realized that there was nothing that we could do to save her. And maybe some of us, including myself, cried knowing that we couldn't save her. And sitting or standing or whatever we're doing now, realizing that that might have been one of the best things they could have done for that game. Anyways, I'm done rambling. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think. I hope they don't fuck Final Fantasy VII. Jesus Christ, I hope they don't.